forgot because it's clearly chaos here. I shall write a book. It shall be called Chaos. Oh my goodness. I always try and have a professional setup. It's never ever going to happen. If you're looking for like this really amazing fitness influencer with their swanky life and their well-behaved clean children, I'm not the person to follow. Oh, you are such a menace! Come on, sit down. Stop!
One eternity later.
Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sifi. I'm a personal trainer.
I always love you.
Oh, I always love you too.
I'm tired.
Oh, you're getting tired, are you? Thank you. I'll come in your clubhouse in a minute. Okay. I can't get a word in edgewise. This channel is all about health and fitness and trying to fit everything into like normal family life. I am a personal trainer and a nutrition coach, and I work online and with my clients to help people create sustainable ways of fitting in healthy eating, movement, recipes, cooking, kitchen hacks, anything that helps you manage your crazy life, your crazy home life with that of fitness. It is carnage in my own house. Just for 1 minute, shh. Today I want to share with you 4 really super healthy meals that you can cook with your family that are high in protein, high in nutrition.
Making me angry.
I'm not. I'm making you angry.
Yes.
Right, okay, well you just sit there and be angry while I finish telling everybody about the healthy recipes we're cooking this week. In this week's video, I want to share with you 4 really hearty, healthy meals that are packed with nutrients, packed with protein. You can enjoy the meal with your family without having to eat independently of your family. A lot of the time, I find that people who are trying to lose weight or feel a little bit better or just make better choices feel like they have to eat independently of their family, and that's just not the case. The majority of my clients do track their macros. I think it's a really useful skill to be able to implement when it comes to learning about nutritional setup and actually learning about what it is that we're eating. So if you are tracking your macros, you're going to find this particularly useful, especially if you want to learn a couple of tips of how to accurately track meals that you batch cook for your family. So everything everything you'll be cooking today will be easy for you to manipulate your own portion size, even if other members of your family want to eat different portion sizes to you. So, if that sounds a bit of you, then keep on watching. Don't forget to click the like button if you enjoy this content, and let's get into it. The first tip I have is to be prepared and weigh out all your dishes that you use all the time, all the pots and pans, so you can keep a record of the weights and keep it easily at hand. I use a super cheap and cheerful Salter digital scale. I like this one because I can easily reset it each time I add an ingredient. I love chili, so I make so many different kinds. I typically opt for my vegan black bean chili, which I've made before, and if you click the card it will take you through to my recipe. You can also visit my website, and there you can download my free ebook packed with 15 meal different ideas and an exercise program, and the full details of that chili is written out there. One of the easiest ways of weighing out anything like this oil is to put it on your scale and then reset the scale back to 0. Then you can easily measure out without dirtying any other spoon or cup exactly how much you want. Start with frying off your onions and celery and browning the meat before adding the chili seasoning and of course some Worcestershire sauce. I also totally forgot the garlic, so I'm adding that in now. First add in your canned tomatoes and then add your carrots, beans, tomato ketchup, tomato puree, a pinch of salt, and finally as much Tabasco as you want. Put your stock pot straight on top, water from the kettle, and then add the peppers in last of all, giving it a good stir before putting the lid on. Your meal should be completely cooked through after about 30 minutes, so now it's time to set the macros. Firstly, you're going to weigh out, without the lid, the weight of the entire dish. That's ingredients, pot, everything. And you're going to make a note of the weight. Punch the weight into your calculator and subtract it by the weight of the casserole dish that you took earlier. This gives you the total weight in grams of your whole batch meal. Jumping into MyFitnessPal, edit the recipe and set the serving size to that weight. It will now give you the calorie and macro breakdown per 1 gram. You can do this for anything you batch cook, so here I did it for the rice too. Now when you're in the diary element of MyFitnessPal, you can track exactly what you're eating and how much. So here I had a 330 gram portion. I just click save and there it is with the correct macros featuring in my diary. Next up, we have a favourite in my household, which is my turkey and sweet potato casserole. Rocco will stuff himself on this every time I make it. I'm really glad that I put this recipe in because it comes in kind of two parts with a bottom layer and a top layer, and so it just shows you how easy it is to track everything in MyFitnessPal. First, you want to peel and chop the potatoes. It does taste a lot better if you can take the time to bake them in the oven, but I tend to just steam them or boil them just to make things quicker. You'll see that I am resetting my scale every time I'm weighing something new, and I'm just putting it in MyFitnessPal as I go. If you are very new to tracking with MyFitnessPal, I'll put a couple of links in the description below and some cards here for 2 videos taking you through an entire beginner's guide to using MyFitnessPal, from creating recipes and building meals and exactly how to do that. Add a red onion and a stick of celery and some smoked pancetta lardons to your olive oil, and after a couple of minutes throw in some ground turkey mince. Once the meat is cooked through, add in some diced carrot, a generous slug of Worcestershire sauce and some diced courgette. Make up a chicken stock. I really like using Kellogg's stock pots. Add it to the mix and I season with salt, pepper, lots of dried oregano and also around a tablespoon of tomato puree. You can cook this stovetop for around 30 minutes, but I have an Argo, so I just put it in the top oven for the same amount of time. As everything's cooking, drain the potatoes. You want to add butter to your potatoes, and once again I'll put the whole stick of butter on the scales, set it to 0, and then I can measure the amount that I want. Salt and mash, and by that point your meat should be ready. Okay, so it's time to get the macros correct, so grab the dish that you're going to build the casserole into, and if you don't already know the weight, weigh it out, write it down and reset the scale to 0. Fill up your dish with the meat and then layer on top with the potatoes. Finally grate some Parmesan cheese on top, and then before you put it in the oven, you just want to weigh out the dish as a whole. Remember, you take the weight of everything and then you subtract the weight of the dish, and then you go into your serving size in MyFitnessPal and you adjust it to that weight. Whilst that goes through in the oven for another 15 minutes just to melt the cheese, it's really worth remembering that you can go into meals, recipes and food anytime and update, edit, change the recipe as you go. Typically when I'm inputting the recipe originally, I'll set the serving size to either 1 so I get the nutritional details for the entire lot, or if I want to get a rough idea of what a portion size will be and what the macros will be for that, I'll estimate how many portions it will make and then set that as a serving size. Next up, we've got a firm family favourite, which is my curried cauliflower cheese soup. Start by melting some butter and gathering every single spice you've got in the house. Add an onion to the butter and saute. Chop up some small potatoes or a large potato, whichever, and add it to the mix. Chop up an entire head of cauliflower. Crush in a couple of cloves of garlic, and then start adding in your spices, your curry powder, coriander and cumin. Mix up a vegetable stock cube, pour in, dump in the cauliflower, then add more boiling water to cover it, add more spices. Careful on the dried chilli if you are going to give this to your kid. Lid on and simmer for around 15 minutes. Whilst that's simmering away, I'll take the opportunity to share with you some of my hacks for making anything like a vegetarian or vegan curry or soup higher in protein. My go-to is this pea protein. I eat a lot of plant-based foods and it won't alter the taste of your meal, but it will change the appearance of it. If you are not vegetarian or vegan, you can use collagen peptides. I use these as well, as they don't alter the taste, appearance, or texture at all of your meal. You can even add this into things like drinks and teas and coffees. Right, so once your soup is cooked and you've lost a bit of your soul to a toddler tantrum, blend your soup. I don't add the cheese into the main recipe, mostly because I prefer to use Eat Lean protein cheese and I give my family full-fat regular cheese. But Eat Lean protein cheese is also another protein hack of mine if I'm just trying to keep the calories a little bit lower but get an extra hit of protein. Lastly, we've got a fantastic easy recipe that just makes it look like you've made a bit of extra effort, but you haven't really at all. This is my maple chicken recipe with mixed vegetables. This meal is definitely one that's easier just to work out how many portions you want to make and then set a predetermined portion size. I was getting a little paranoid about how long this video is going to be, so what I'll do is put the recipe in the description box below for this particular tray bake because it's so delicious, but I will show you just how to track it as a predetermined portion size. This way you're probably really familiar with anyway, because most people who track on MyFitnessPal do tend to track by setting predetermined portion sizes. That's it for this week's video. I'd love to know if you found it useful, and it seems to be one part of tracking macros that has a lot of people stumped. So I hope this helps you stay compliant with your goals whilst enjoying the process of, leaning up and feeling better, and also gets you eating with your family. If you like this video, hit that like button, and if you subscribe and hit the notification bell, it burns about 2,000 calories. It's a scientific fact. Also, don't forget to check the description box for links to my absolute beginner's guide to using MyFitnessPal, and I'll see you in the next video.